Hello my friends and welcome to a new vlog. It is Tuesday the 29th. We have very few days left until the end of the year. I wanted to start this vlog yesterday. You might have seen some footage from yesterday. My brother came down and he's staying at this resort, and so took the kids and they had a really good time with their cousins. And it's time to get started on this vlog. It's gonna be a shorter one because this is only gonna be until the end of the year. And like I said in last week's vlog, I'm going to try to cram as many books into this week as possible. Simply because of the fact that I want to get as many books off of my TBR before 2021 comes as much as I can. So I finished a book last night. I actually started reading this, I think it was Sunday night. No, I started reading this Sunday night and then I finished it last night. And that is Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. I enjoyed this so much. So it's really short and I don't really know how much I should say, but basically this takes place in this like dystopian future United States where there's this war going on, and things are very different. Like a lot of the resources we have now, most of the people in the country do not have anymore, simply because of everything that's being expended towards this war. So this is more of like a Old West style setting, which was really interesting. And we're following our main character Esther, who is about to get married off by her father to this man who was previously engaged to her best friend Beatrice, her best friend who she was in love with. So things in America have kind of reverted, and so now being who she is, being a queer woman, is not allowed. And so that love that she felt for Esther, the person who she is not allowed to exist in this world. And when her best friend Beatrice is hanged for, I think she's executed for possession of resistance propaganda, Esther decides to take off and go find the librarians. So the librarians are these traveling women who go from town to town, distributing approved materials for people to read and watch and so forth. And she thinks that if she goes and joins these upright women, that they will be able to kind of save her from herself, and she'll be able to forget about who she is as a person and just be this upright woman. But when she meets the librarians, she finds out that they are quite different from what she first imagined. And I think that's pretty much all I'm going to say, but this book was so incredibly beautiful. It actually made me tear up. I think that it has a lot to say about identity and about being yourself. It is absolutely full of queer characters. There is a character by the name of Sai who goes by they them, and they tell our main character Esther, like, I go by they them, but when we're in town you need to call me she, because of the type of world that they live in. And I think I actually saved the quote, but she says that when there's people around who we don't trust, we let them think we're the kinds of people who are allowed to exist. And the only kind of librarian that's allowed to exist is one who answers to she. So that's kind of an idea of what the world currently looks like. And I don't know, I just thought that this was absolutely beautiful. It's such like a fun story. It's got that like classic Western feel with like shootouts and riding on horseback, but it's also deeper than that, and it's heartfelt, and I just absolutely loved it. And the author's note literally made me cry. She says that I owe this book to every queer person out there who thinks they don't have a future, who thinks there's no place for them in this world, who thinks that all is lost if they can't find a way to bury the person who they are. I'm gonna cry. This is for you. This is for all of you. There's a place for you in the future, and it's better than you can possibly imagine. That pretty much just sums up what like the theming of this book was. It was beautiful. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Highly, highly recommend. It was a fun ride, and yeah, I loved it. So that's one book finished this week. Yay. And I picked this up because it's so short, and because like after reading Kingdom of Ash last week, I needed something quick to get through because like it was a lot. Kingdom of Ash was a lot. So yeah, I finished that. And so the plan for the rest of the week, I want to finish a book a day. So we've got today, I want to finish The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heap, which I started last week and haven't gotten too far in. I'm currently on page 129. I'm still loving this. I talked about it in last week's vlog, but if you didn't see that, this follows our main characters, Charlie and Rob. Charlie has the ability to pull characters out of books, and it seems like there may be someone else who has this ability and is causing a lot of trouble. I love that we get to meet so many literary characters. My favorite so far has been Sherlock Holmes. Charlie pulled Sherlock Holmes out of a book to like kind of get his advice on what was going on. And I love it. I love all of the characters we're meeting. There is some like minor spoilers for other classic books, but I think that they're mostly books that we talk about a lot in like pop culture, so I don't think that that is an issue if you're worried about being spoiled about for a certain book. So yeah, I am enjoying this. I'm loving it so far. It takes place in New Zealand, which is really cool, and the like mythology and legends surrounding New Zealand are incorporated in here as well. We've got Maui, who is running around doing things, and it's just, I'm loving this so much. So I recommend it already, even though I haven't finished it, but I'm really excited to get further into this, and I'm planning on finishing this one today. The next book I have on my list is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book to Skyward. This is his YA sci-fi series that follows Spensa, who wants to be a fighter pilot in this world where the remnants of humanity are constantly attacked by this alien race called the Krell. And I really enjoyed the first book a lot, so I'm excited to get into the second book. I don't think that I'll finish this in a day. It's kind of a thicker one. But I mean, it's not that bad. It's like 450 pages, which is not bad. But I'm gonna be reading this a little bit throughout the week, and hopefully like finishing it by the end of the year. That's the plan for all of these books. And then next up on my list, which this might seem like a lot because this is another pretty thick one, but this is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. I do have the audiobook for this, so I can dip in and out of the audiobook when I want to, and also read physically, which should help me get through it. It is 561 pages. This is the third and final book to the All Souls trilogy. I would love to finish another series this year, so I'm really hoping that I can get to this one too. And then we have The Lost Book of the White, which is the second book in the, The Eldest Curses series by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. This follows Magnus and Alec and their adventures, which are super fun. Like, I loved the first book so much, so I'm really excited to get into this one. That's 4 books. We have 3 days. We've got 4 books. That's pretty much it. I like that. I'm not gonna get through much more than that, honestly. It's gonna be a mad dash to the end of the year. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna take you along with me, and hopefully we'll be able to do it. Yeah, so welcome to the vlog. I do hope that you enjoy, and I will catch up with you later. Hey guys, so it's Thursday. It's the last day of the year, and this vlog is kind of a fail. I had so many plans. I was gonna read all of the things. I was gonna take you along with me. I had some fun things in mind that I wanted to do, and nothing just worked out the way I wanted it to. So just for some background knowledge, on Christmas morning, I woke up with the beginnings of a migraine. And, you know, I like quickly took medicine trying to get rid of it, and I was fine for Christmas, but the day after Christmas, everything happened. Like, I had a severe migraine attack. I could not get out of bed. I have stomach issues as well, and I was having like a major flare-up. And it was just, I was really sick. And then the migraine never went away. So for like, since, what was that, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days in a row that I had a migraine. Never had a migraine last that long, so that was really hard. And I think that you could probably understand why I didn't want to read or film. So not much vlogging, not much reading happened. I did finish one book, which was The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heap by H.J. Perry. I really enjoyed this. This is the type of book for people who adore stories and storytelling and books. There were so many literary characters that came to life in here, from Matilda from Roald Dahl's book to Sherlock Holmes. There was a dragon. The Jabberwock came to life. Of course, Uriah Heap, David Copperfield, Charles Dickens himself. Like, it was just so much fun. Seriously, if you are a lover of stories, you're going to absolutely love this. And at the core of this story is a sibling bond between two brothers who love each other and have to team up to save the world from a literary apocalypse. I mean, what more could you want in a book? I absolutely adored this. I think that the relationship between the two brothers was somewhat strained at first, and they even though they love each other, you know, like, no matter what happens between siblings and the things that the hurt that we may cause each other, we're still family and we still love each other. And that is shown in this book. Like, they go through a lot, and they have a lot of like hurt from the past, things that they did to each other that kind of came up at the most inopportune ways and times, but they love each other and they stuck by each other, and it was so beautiful, and I loved that. I have never heard anyone talk about this, so I feel like it's pretty underrated. Never seen anyone talk about it here on BookTube, so please pick this up. I want to get it in as many hands as possible because I just loved it so much. I did give it a 4 stars instead of 5. It didn't quite have a 5-star feel for me, and I think that for what it was kind of long. I don't know if that's exactly like the issue I had with it, but because everything in it was very evenly paced. Like, it was evenly paced throughout the entire novel. But I just felt like in some parts it was a little long. Other than that, like, that's the only negative thing I can say about this. I loved everything else about it. 5 out of 5 stars. Highly, highly recommend. So I did finish that book, and I thought that now we would kind of go over my entire month of December and do a final wrap-up. Because I'm not doing a separate wrap-up for the month of December. Since I vlogged the entire month and I pretty much gave you all of my thoughts on these books throughout all of the vlogs, I think doing a December wrap-up would just be like repetitive. So let me open my Goodreads. I have all the books here, but I know I read a couple books that I don't have physical copies of, so I don't want to forget anything. So let's see what I read this month. So I actually managed to read a total of 20 books. I don't know how I did it. I did have a lot of rereads and I had some middle grade and stuff like that, so that helped. But yeah, 20 books in the month of December. This quarter, I've read more than any other quarter. I'm for certain, because I read a lot of books in October as well. Okay, so first book I read in December was Soulbinder by Sebastian D. Castell. This is the 4th book in the Spellslinger series. I loved the first book in the series, and as far as this 4th one, I gave it 3 stars. I don't think that I'm going to continue on with the series. I just am not enjoying it as much. I started looking at reviews for the next book in the series, and I've seen a couple of reviews that said Kellen grows not at all. Like, no character growth. And that's the problem. That's one of the main problems I've been having with the series, is that Kellen does not seem to be growing as a character at all. And so if it's just going to be more of the same in the next books, then I'm not really interested. Next, I reread An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir in preparation for the 4th and final book coming out this month. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read 3 books in the Chronicles of Narnia series. I read Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and The Silver Chair, which I each gave 3 stars. This is another series that I gave up on this month. I wanted to read the entire series, but after reading Silver Chair, I picked up, what was it, The Horse and His Boy, and I was like, I'm not enjoying this anymore. I'm just gonna stop, you know? So yeah, that's what I did, but I did read these 3. Then I read A Torch Against the Night, which is the 2nd book in the Spellslinger series, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. Or, did I say Spellslinger? No, this is the 2nd book in An Ember in the Ashes quartet. I gave it 5 stars. Wow. Then I read the third book in that series, which is A Reaper at the Gates, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I honestly think that this book in particular is my favorite. Transcendent Kingdom by Uriah Heap, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. This was incredible. I love Uriah so much, and I honestly cannot wait for her to write her next book. Then we got to A Sky Beyond the Storm, which is the 4th and final book in the Ember and Ashes series, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was an amazing conclusion. It was heartbreaking, it was heartwarming, it was beautiful. I loved it. Then I read Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was a difficult read, but a very good one, a very important one. I highly recommend this book. Absolutely loved it. Then I completed my reread of Mirage by Sumaya Dawood, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. It is a sci-fi fantasy that I wanted to reread before I read the second book in the duology, which I did read as well. The 10th Girl by Sarah Faring, which everyone seems to really not like, but I really enjoyed, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a YA horror. Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely adore this book and this series. And then I read Court of Lions, which is the second book to Mirage by Sumaya Dawood. Gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was a little bit disappointing for me. Not quite what I was expecting. And then Enola Holmes and The Case of the Missing Marquez by Nancy Springer, which I gave a 3 out of 5 stars. Really cute little middle grade story. Edge Dancer by Brandon Sanderson, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. This is a novella that is part of the Stormlight Archive. It follows the character Lift, and I absolutely loved her. Loved this. 5 stars. I then read The Time of Contempt, which is the second Witcher full-length novel, which I gave 2 stars. I hated it. And then I finished Kingdom of Ash, which was just such an amazing experience, honestly, finishing out this 7-book series. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And then I read Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars, and just even thinking about it makes me emotional. And then, of course, The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heap, which I gave 4 stars. So these were actually the 2 books that I finished this week, and those were the 20 books that I finished in the month of December. I had an amazing reading month. I honestly had an amazing reading year, and I can't wait to go over that with you and talk about it. I also wanted to say like a quick thank you to everyone who has watched my vlogs. I appreciate you so much. I've been recognizing a lot of frequent commenters that have been there, who have been there for a while, but especially during the month of December, watching all my vlogs, especially Ashley and Michelle. I love you both. And I'm just so appreciative of everyone who watches my videos, who likes my videos, who comments. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me for the entire month of December. I cannot wait to do this again next December. I think it's gonna be so much fun. But I am gonna go ahead and end this here, and I'm sorry that the vlog did not quite work out the way I wanted it to, but there will be definitely a lot more opportunities in the future to vlog the way I want. So hope you enjoyed it regardless. Hope you enjoyed the wrap up, and do talk to me down in the comments. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on the books that I read this month, this week, especially The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heap. Let me know if you've read this or if you want to read this. So yeah, that is gonna be it. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next year. Bye guys.